Today I'm going to go through some amber fragrances. Most of these are niche. There's a couple of designer ones on there and there is a couple of cheapies. But all of these smell fantastic and they're going to be great for the upcoming cooler months. You know what to do, ladies and gents. Just stay tuned. What is good, YouTube? Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. My name is Mikey Cologne and thank you very much for tuning in. I just want to say a big thank you to everybody. I've flown past 3,000 subs and I appreciate everybody's support, everybody who watches my content down to my subs. I love every single one of you and you lot do mean a hell of a lot to me and I really do appreciate every single one of you. And I love the fact that people do drop comments down and interact a little bit. I love that. This channel isn't about me, it's about you lot. I always try and put you lot onto great fragrances. Yes, I've definitely not tried every fragrance out there. I don't think anybody has. I've tried quite a few, but if I own something or I buy something and I think it's decent, I will give it praise. If it ain't decent, I will tell you it's not. But in general, I do normally pick great fragrances and I try and put you lot onto them great fragrances. I hope everybody got some great deals in the Black Friday sales. I didn't. Car trouble, and you have to put your priorities in line. My car needed sorting out. I ain't going to go into it. Gutted is an understatement, but I hope everyone out there watching this, I hope you got yourself some great fragrances, because I got email after email and I just deleted the emails. I thought I'm not even getting enticed this year because I had to sort my goddamn car out. The joys of owning a BMW. Anyway, today I'm going to be talking about 8 amber fragrances. Obviously a lot of these are balsamic, resinous, but there is some different types of amber fragrances here. I've tried to chop it up a little bit so they all do something a little bit different. And like I say, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 niche and there's 2 inexpensive fragrances and they're designers. So let's do it. I'm going to start off the list, and this is in no particular order. A fragrance coming from the house of Jovoy, and it is Ambre Premier. This is a stunning amber fragrance, and you can pick these up. Retail Jovoy fragrances are £145. Not all of them, but most of them are. And the quality of the juice, down to the presentation, they are worth the money. I own 6 Jovoys now, and not one of them have I thought to myself, I don't really like that. They have all been hits to me, and I know everybody's got different tastes, but this is another one of them hits. I'm going to spray it, read you the notes, and then we're going to crack on. Not bad atomizers. That's my only gripe about these. Beautiful presentation, gorgeous juice. If these had pressurized atomizers on the bottles, that would be the icing or the cherry on top of the cake. You got spices, candied orange, rose, amber, musk, patchouli and vanilla. Now straight away this opens sweet, chocolatey, orange and a little bit spicy. So the candied orange is mixing in straight away to my nose with the patchouli, because it's the patchouli that's giving off that chocolatey quality. Plus obviously you've got the amber, so it is balsamic, it is slightly resinous. Like, this is not an overly thick resinous amber fragrance, more on the balsamic side. To me, when something's resinous, it's a little bit more thick, sticky and a little bit more gooey and heavy. And this does have a little bit of heft to it, but like I say, it's more on the balsamic side. You get that chocolate cakey patchouli up top mixing in with the orange and the spice. As it starts to settle, things start to turn a little bit woodsy, the orange takes a back seat, and the patchouli is what's going from that chocolate cakey style to woodsy. Now the vanilla's come in, so it adds a little bit of a powdery touch, and you still get the aroma of vanilla, but it's ever so slightly powdery. The amber always stays. The rose comes across a little bit stemmy, and I think that rose is helping out on the woodsy side of things as well. The rose is a little bit sweet. It's not jammy. It's slightly sweet, I think, because of the amber and the patchouli, but it's also stemmy. And like I say, that patchouli does go woodsy as this fragrance dries down. Very soft, musky edges. This is a great smelling amber fragrance. This is unisex. For the first hour and a half, it's moderate. It's not a beast mode fragrance, but for the first hour and a half, it's moderate. I would say a good 2 foot. You're going to leave a scent trail. And obviously, as the hours go by, it does rein in a bit, but you've always got a nice personal scent bubble with Ambre Premier. But anyway, this is a great fragrance. Deserves to be on the list. And look at the bottles, look. Stunning. Now, this fragrance has been around since 2009. I purchased this bottle about 3 years ago. I don't know what batch number is on this, I haven't checked, but this thing is beast mode, especially in the opening. When you spray this on, do not go too near. So if you spray it on the back of your hand, don't put your nose straight in, because it might choke you out. It is amber and spices from Montale. This thing slaps you in the nose with loads of spice when this first opens up. I'm going to do one spray of this. This thing fills the air. You don't even need to get close. If you do 2 to 3 sprays of this on a cold day, it's going to last you. No doubt about it. On clothes, it is on there for weeks. You've got rose, nutmeg, agar wood, oud, caraway, amber, ebony wood and sandalwood. Now, like I say, this opens with loads of spice, rose and a medicinal oud. The oud here is not funky, skanky, barnyardy, fecal. It's just got a medicinal quality to it. Now, after about, I'd say 10 to 15 minutes, once that spice starts calming down, the rose takes a back seat, and that is when the amber becomes present. You do get a touch of that amber up top, but it's overshadowed by that medicinal oud and the spice. But once it starts to calm down, that is when the amber becomes more present. Once it's sitting in the mid, that is when the amber shines in this fragrance. And then as it sits, it starts to darken up. And that's the ebony wood. So it's got a woodsy base. The sandalwood here comes across a little bit, I would say, dusty and slightly. You get that pencil shavings smell from the sandalwood here. It is a very nice fragrance. At times, especially in the open, some people might find this a little bit pungent because of that spice and that medicinal oud. I mean, I don't find it challenging to wear, but me personally, I am someone that says rock what you want when you want, it doesn't matter, and I stand by that. But with this, I would only wear this on the colder days. If you want something that's going to last in cooler weather, try amber and spices from Montale. This thing packs a punch, no doubt about it. It is a 10-hour plus fragrance. Like I say, on clothes, it's on there for weeks. I've worn this before, washed the shirt, still smelt it after the wash. That is how strong it was. I think I've done 6 to 7 sprays, and obviously some hit the collar. This is strong stuff. But anyway, amber and spices from Montale. This is a powerhouse. Why I have this in my collection, I'm always going to recommend this fragrance. If you are on a budget and you only have 20 to 30 pounds to spend on a fragrance, something that is of quality, try Barat Ambre Eve from the House of Fragrance World. This is inspired by a version of MFK's Grand Soir. And I did a side-by-side comparison, and they are similar, there's no doubt about it. Obviously, the quality is not going to be as good as Grand Soir, because I think for a 70ml, it's £180 in the UK. So it is an expensive fragrance. But this is an inexpensive fragrance that smells expensive. Like I say, it is close to that fragrance. It also reminds me a little bit of Ambre Premier from the house of Jovoy. But I'm going to get into it. And you can even tell by the bottle, look. It looks like amazing Francis Kurkdjian bottle. Great atomizer as well. And like I say, £20 for 100ml of this juice. You've got labdanum, cistus, orange, benzoin, amber, cedar, musk, tonka and vanilla. This does open with a citrusy, fruity blast along with amber. That orange really stands out, and it kind of adds a fresh quality up top. But you've got sweetness coming in from the labdanum and the cistus, plus straight away it's balsamic. Now, as this starts to settle, the vanilla comes through along with the musk, and the vanilla here is a little bit more on the powdery side, because as this settles, or the more this dries down, the more powdery it becomes on my skin. But you do get that vanillic aroma with it, but you also get resinous touches, balsamic touches, dries down a little bit more. The tonka adds this cherry facet way in the back, like in the air. I can't really pick it up, but if I spray this on skin, let it dry down for 20, and I dig my nose into my skin and smell it, I can pick up on a light cherry quality way in the back. So it's sweetness all the way through, but it's not an overbearing sweetness. It's not sickly sweetness. It's just enough sweetness. You've got the amber, the labdanum, you've got the tonka, you've got the vanilla. They are all sweet notes. You do get light woodsy touches with this from the cedar. Plus, after a little while, that citrusy quality that you get up top, it does fade out. Like as time goes by, after about 10 to 15 minutes, it's in the back. And then after about 20 to 25 minutes, it is completely fizzled out. And that is when the fragrance is sitting at its warmest. And I must say quickly, the performance on this ain't bad either. You're looking at 6 to 8 hours. Sometimes I've got on 7, sometimes I've got 6.5, sometimes I've had 7.5, 8 hours with it. So I think it all depends on the heat of your skin, maybe, what environment you're in. Like if you're out in a blistering heat, if it's a cold day, it all plays a part. But you're only going to lose half hour or gain half hour here and there. It's nothing dramatic. But for £20, this is a great pickup. There is no doubt about it. Great smelling fragrance. And that is Barakat Eve from Fragrance World. This fragrance, right, at retail, it's worth the money. I think it's £110 retail. At discounters, you can find this for about £85. From the bottle down to the juice, this is a no-brainer. This is coming from the house of Nobel 1942. It is Ambra Nobel. Look at that stunning bottle. This is a 70ml bottle or 75ml bottle, I believe. And the juice. This isn't your typical amber fragrance. And I'll get to it. Great atomizer. This opens up with a fresh blast of citrus and neroli. That is how this thing opens up. You've got amber, neroli, bergamot, everlasting flower, immortelle, labdanum, patchouli, cedarwood, sandalwood, vetiver, and tonka bean. Like I say, the first thing you will notice is that neroli and that bergamot. They are neck and neck. They are pumping in loads of freshness. Plus, you do get a fresh, spicy quality with this up top. Now, after about 5 minutes, this herbaceous tobacco accord comes in. A little bit dry, which is coming from the immortelle. Then that amber becomes present. and that fresh quality slowly fizzles out. That amber starts becoming more and more present as the fragrance dries down. That tobacco-y quality that this fragrance has then slowly takes a back seat. The fragrance then starts warming up. It turns sweet. It goes woodsy. The vetiver here is a clean vetiver. And the patchouli here gives off a little bit of that chocolate cakey vibe that it can do, or the way it can go sometimes. So sometimes it can go earthy, woodsy, a little bit chocolate cakey. In this, in the base, it gives off a little bit of that chocolate cakey quality, along with soft musk, clean vetiver, a little bit of amber, balsamic obviously. This is not a resinous fragrance. Definitely more on the balsamic side, and that fresh quality up top. Like when you first smell this or spray this on, you'd be thinking, is this an amber fragrance? It is. Let it settle in, let it start to dry down, and then you will see that over time, the amber becomes more present along with woods. This is a great scent. If you can pick it up for £85, it's a no-brainer. Even at £110, I'm telling you, these are great quality fragrances. The juice in here is gorgeous. The bottle is gorgeous. And these look great on the shelf. But anyway, that is Ambra Nobel from the house of Nobel 1942. Right. If you've been following me for a long time now, you know that I struggle with some words. So I'm going to apologise if I'm going to butcher the fragrance's name. The fragrance is called Amber, and it says Frank. It's either Oliver or Olivia. I've never been able to get that one right. I'm being serious. I don't know if I'm partly dyslexic, but I don't know if that's Olivia or Oliver. But anyway, this is an inexpensive banger. This smells great. It really does. Starts off a little bit bittersweet. A little bit of freshness to it. You got orange, bergamot, labdanum, patchouli, vetiver, sandalwood, amber and vanilla. Oh, this is good. This is good. I think this is £40 for 100 ml of this juice. How does it open up? A little bit citrusy, a little bit fruity, a little bit bittersweet, also a little bit balsamic. After a couple of minutes, that bittersweet or that bitter quality dissipates. That goes. The sweetness is still there, and then things start darkening up very, very quickly. Woods come in, the vanilla comes in, it starts turning a little bit resinous, balsamic, woodsy, a little bit powdery, vanillic, dries down more. Then the fragrance starts turning a little bit creamy from the sandalwood. As it sits in its late dry down, it's warm, semi-sweet, resinous. It always keeps a little bit of this fresh citrusy quality in the fragrance. Even though they seem to dissipate quite early on, there's always a little bit of a citrusy, fresh touch to the fragrance all the way through. On my skin anyway, and like I say, even in the dry down, I can slightly pick that up when it's at its most resinous, so to speak. This is a great inexpensive fragrance. One of my subscribers commented on my video, the review that I'd done of this ages ago, probably when I first started the channel. He said that he's bought this fragrance and it's on its way. I hope you enjoy it, my friend. This is an easy £40 to spend. If you enjoy a little bit of citrus, amber, woods, and a little bit musky and vanillic, you will appreciate Amber from Olivia. Anyway, this is unisex as well, by the way. Now we have a fruity amber fragrance. It's from the house of the artist and Parfumeur. It is Bana. And I'm telling you something now, ladies and gents, this thing works. And how they've put this fragrance together, how this has been blended and how it's been created, it is perfection. It really is. I love the way these bottles look, and I love the way this fragrance smells. This is going to be my scent of the day, so it is going on skin. Lovely atomizer as well. Oh, straight away you get the banana, straight away, but it's an unripe banana. Right, we'll get into it. You got violet leaf, mace, pepper, banana flower, Irish jasmine, amber, tonka bean and musk. I can taste that. Fresh, spicy, a little bit green, herbal and banana. Now the banana here starts off unripe. It starts off a little green. But as this sits, once it gets past the 5, maybe 8 minute mark, the fragrance then warms up, starts turning creamy, a little bit buttery from the iris, and that banana now has ripened. So it starts unripe and green, and then as the fragrance sits and warms up, that banana turns from green to yellow. And it is mad how they have been able to create that in a fragrance. The iris here, it is a little bit powdery, but like I say, it also gives off a little bit of a buttery nuance, and the fragrance does have a little bit of a creamy side to it. That spice that you get up top, as the fragrance dries, that slowly dissipates. The tonka bean and the musk creep in, and the tonka bean here, I would say it gives off an ever so slight, very faint almondy touch, plus sweetness, and obviously this does have musky edges. Now, the jasmine here adds sweetness, but it also smooths the edges out of this fragrance. It gives it a very light floral edge, very, very light. Like, this is a unisex fragrance, there is no doubt about it. To me, it doesn't lean masculine, it doesn't lean feminine. To me, it's straight down the middle. And I'm telling you something now, if you lot are thinking, I don't want to smell like banana, give it a go. Oh, and obviously the amber. Now, quickly, with the amber's not so present up top. But once this fragrance starts ripening up, so to speak, that is when the amber becomes present. Slightly balsamic, ever so slightly resinous. I mean, ever so slightly resinous. Definitely more on the balsamic side, but like I say, it's powdery, it's sweet, it's a little buttery, it's banana, it's fruity. Great scent. I love the way this smells. This is one of them fragrances that will be a great conversation starter. If someone asks you what you're wearing and you turn around and say the fragrance that I'm wearing is called Bana Banana, they're going to think, what? And then that creates a conversation. But anyway, that's from the house. That's from the house of l'artisan Parfumeur, and that is Bana Banana. This is a great scent. This really is. Yeah. Now, I was gutted when I got this fragrance. Reason being was the atomizer was dog shit, and it still is. Still hasn't sorted itself out, so I'm not happy about that. But the bottle and the scent makes up for it. This is Cashmere from Vanto. This is a great smelling fragrance. This is a very powdery amber, but it's not a powder bomb, but it definitely has a powdery side to it. And listen, the atomizer, it's no good, but the scent makes up for it. It really does. You've got amber, capabia balm, cashmere, vanilla, geranium, ylang ylang, sandalwood, labdanum, vetiver, patchouli and musk. Straight away, this is balsamic, powdery, vanillic. As this settles, you start getting some soft spice. The cashmere here adds in a woodsy side, plus it gives this fragrance a musky edge near on straight away. Like, this does open powdery, a little bit musky, and the more this settles, the more that powder side levels out, but then the musk seems to turn up a little bit. The ylang ylang and the sandalwood give this a creamy quality. Like, this has a creamy, this is creamy through and through. Opens up slightly creamy, dries down to even more creamier, but like I say, the powdery side calms down, and as this sits, the more it warms up, then it starts turning resinous. It opens balsamic, and that stays, but then it gets a little bit darker. The patchouli here, it is a little bit earthy. The geranium adds a very light minty quality into the fragrance. Like, at first, you can pick up that minty quality, but then as it starts to dry down, it fades out. It's kind of herbal, a little bit minty and a little bit herbal. But like I say, that patchouli definitely goes earthy, and then the vetiver is obviously woodsy. This is a great fragrance if you haven't tried it. If you like powdery fragrances with amber, woods, musk, vanilla, creamy sandalwood with ylang ylang, that ylang ylang just boosts that. To me, ylang ylang can come across a little bit heady. It's a yellow flower, so it can come across a little bit heady. It can push sweetness in. It can go a little bit dirty, and it can go creamy. And here, it just amps that sandalwood up. But this is a great fragrance. I love the way the bottles look as well, and the smell. Yeah, this is great, and it's unisex. Now, this is the strongest one on this whole list. This is a small bottle, but I'm telling you something now, the juice speaks volumes. It is from Francesca Bianchi, and it is Byzantine Amber. This is a little powerhouse. Look at the colour of that juice, look. You only need one sprayer, do you? I'm not even exaggerating. If it's a cold day and you put one spray of this on, you are good to go, no doubt about it. This is another fragrance where I would not touch this with a barge pole on a hotter day, because you and the people around you are going to be in trouble. This is a very bold, loud fragrance. You've got bergamot, cinnamon, geranium, benzoin, labdanum, frankincense, leather, styrax and ambergris. How does this open up? Spicy, smoky, leathery. Like, that leather side to this fragrance is strong, and this has an animalic side to it. Not just an animalic edge, this has an animalic side to it. The benzoin, this is thick, this is resinous, this is dense. Like I say, this is a dark fragrance. It's just a powerhouse. I mean, everything kind of not happens at once. But at first, you get the resins, you get the leather, you get this smoky quality. But as it dries, that smoky quality, I know incense can come across smoky, but you can pick out the smoky quality to the incense, because to me, the incense is obviously come from the frankincense, and plus I think the leather is pushing that smoky quality into the fragrance. You have to enjoy leather, animalics, and very resinous fragrances to enjoy this. I think, to me, it's dark, mysterious, it's sexy. Like, this is a little bit dirty. If you're rocking a leather jacket and you're wearing this, you're going to look and smell the part. There is no doubt about it. You have to be careful with this juice. I'm telling you, if you're going to wear it around the house, one little spray. And what do you mean by little spray? Just literally press the atomizer just quickly, and don't push down too hard. If you're going out and you want to be daring, 2 to 3 sprays. But I'm telling you, one spray will do you just as good, because this lingers on skin. This works its way into fabrics. This is a powerhouse. This is a powerhouse. And like I say, this is a 30ml bottle. I don't know if it's extract to parfum. I think it is extract to parfum. But anyway, that is Byzantine Amber from Francesca Bianchi. As you can see, that I haven't hardly used none of this juice. It will last you ages. Literally one spray, 2 sprays. That is all you need. Right, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for the support. To me, these are 8 great amber fragrances. Let me know if you've tried any of these. Let me know which ones or which amber fragrances you enjoy. What are your favourites? I would love to hear your support. I would love to hear your feedback. Remember, smelling good's always a pleasure and never a chore. And I'll see you lot on the next one. Cheers.